answering.
Which is?
The question here is, are you one of those people that are letting the president down? And there has been talk of perhaps there's a lack of unity of purpose, even within Jubilee, the Kieleweke side, that on one hand, you have the politicians like yourself pulling on one side with their own strategies, for instance, in this by-elections. And on the other hand, you've talked about OP. We keep hearing that's Office of the President. We keep hearing the likes of state machinery, Matiang'i, Kibisho mentioned, that the people under the president have different scripts, not reading from the same page, and that is why we are seeing these losses happening, because everyone is pulling their own end. Please speak to that.
Those people work for the president.
Are they overreaching into politics?
Their cue from the president. No. If you ask me my personal opinion, they should not dabble in politics. I don't think they do, but I believe they are a support system for the president. These are the people that are executing the president's programs, the president's plans. But politics should be left to the politicians. They can play a facilitative role. But there is absolutely no conflict. There is absolutely nobody misadvising the president. And I'll tell you, Sophia, these by-elections were conducted thoroughly. People went out, people met various groups, they met religious groups, they met churches. Frankly, if you ask me, I suspect that ruling of the court the day before the by-elections were held demoralized a lot of our people. And number two, like I was telling my friend Rigathi, I know they have a mind of their own, but I want to ask them, how is it possible that Raila Amolo Odinga can ask the people of Kisumu town to vote for an Indian, Shakil Shabir, and they vote for him? William Samoei Ruto can ask the people of Eldoret town, a cosmopolitan, to vote for Mishra, a Muindi, and they do. Or you take a Somali in Migori, and they vote for them. But here in Mount Kenya, where the president tells you, I want you to vote for Murathe Gachagua, and the people go out and say they are not interested, they actually are trying to rub his nose and say, look, we are so independent, we don't listen to what, we have our own situation. Of course, the circumstances, particularly under COVID and particularly under the economic situation right now, about money in people's pockets, yes, it is possible you can get a protest vote because there is no feel-good factor. But these people should also know that this is the same Uhuru who gave us the economic stimulus program, which everybody gave him a standing ovation. So they need to give him time to manage the pandemic, to manage the economy, to finish with the infrastructure, and then they will start reaping the benefits of the foundation which he's laying for the entire country. So when you say we are part of the advisors that are misadvising the president, I think that is not fair, because the president has so many sources of advice. He is the most informed person. Some of it information, some of it is misinformation, some of it, and he has to sit back and decide what he goes with. It's his call. So when people start the blame game, I think it is not necessary. Let us agree. It is a contest.
Your candidate in Juja said the election was...
Your
candidate in Juja had said the by-election was rigged.
They said there were some votes which were not allowed to be counted, and that was the cause of the fracas. And by the way, when the CEO or the chairman of the IBC went down there, and everybody was calmed down, and things were done as per what the presiding officers had recorded, which was signed by agents of Jubilee and of all the other candidates. When they were tallied and the returning officer announced the result, everybody respected and accepted that result. And like I told you at the beginning,
yes,
this is the future that we are talking about, and that is what the BBI is all about, that you're able to go into an election, cast your vote, go home and do your work, and wait for the result in the evening, and there is no need for people to fight post-election. And that is why we're saying this is an achievement in itself. It is a pointer going forward that we will not expect post-election violence or a contested election, and that is one of the legacy things that this president is working on.
All right, let me
and
bring
by the way, you don't have to win everything, Sophia. You must accept that some you win, some you lose.
So if the president is getting the best
advice... These
advice...
guys are jumping up and down
if the
for
president...
just winning two small ward seats. Suppose they had won the seats that TNA won when it first entered the space.
All right, let me bring back the Honourable Rigathi into the conversation. When you hear the Vice Chair, and briefly because we're about to wrap up, talk about the President receiving all of the best advice, and yet this is the state of affairs in terms of what we're talking about, that you did a tweet as being a protest vote, but number two, the politics in Jubilee really going south. So what do you make of it? Is it a president who's not listening to all of this advice?
No, the president is a good man. And like all human beings, he has one weakness. When he trusts completely. I've worked with him. He trusts these guys. They have messed him up.
Why didn't he trust his deputy?
Well, he's like that. And he's a good man. He trusts you completely. Look at what is happening in court. The court orders against him. You know, the NMS, the Kenya Meat Commission, the chief administrative officers, the BBI. You can see there's something wrong. You know, Murathe is trying to play it down. I agree with him. He is saying the people of the lake listen to whatever Raila says. The people of the mountain are not like that. The people of the mountain will not listen to anybody. They will listen if you tell them the right thing. If you come and say, elect Gachagua in Madeira and they like him, they will. If you tell them, elect Gachagua, they don't like him, they will not. That's the difference. And David Murathe and his group have played a big role in making people to be defiant because of talking down to people, abusing them, persecuting them. And Matiang'i has not helped a lot because of using the police to manage politics. You know, if you have a different opinion, they said police for you. They said DCI, they said, oh, you know, the other day I was in my house, visitors were coming to see me, and there were 2 Land Rovers there asking why I'm having visitors. You know, that thing has really annoyed people. And our people don't take threats, you know, at all. And it's a community that does not buy fear. And it's a community that stood up to the British colonialists with guns, with airplanes, with grenades, and they said no. They had a panga and a big resolve to be independent. And that is why he is saying they are disobeying the president. And it's even them, like when they were campaigning, they were saying a vote for Jubilee is a vote for Uhuru. And people still voted against it. They are getting the president muddied in things they don't have to. And they thought it's a very good point. Why there is a big protest is that the economy has been badly handled. You know, President Kibaki did very well. People had money in the pocket. People are unhappy about demolitions. You know, in Ruai, in Kariobangi, people's homes were destroyed during the COVID. You know, when you come to town, in Nyamakema, in Gikomba, in Taveta Road, in Kirinyaga Road, you know, the Ministry of Interior came and touched goods belonging to our people. You know, if, Sophia, you look at the newspaper every day, there are 10 to 14 pages of auctions. And mostly these are people from the mountain. And people feel very bitter because during Kibaki's time, they were a happy lot. There was money. Myself, during Kibaki's time, I had 700 workers. At an average of 5 people, I was feeding 3,500 people. Today, I have 9. 8 years down the line. You know, those people who have lost jobs are unhappy with this government. And then the issue is the BBI. Our people find it not a priority. They think the priority should be vaccination. They think priority should be getting reliefs, you know, in terms of people who have loans, who are not able to pay because their businesses have closed down. They think people should be paid those who are paying bills. They simply do not think that BBI is a priority. And also, and Murathe must know, When we campaigned on Jubilee, nowhere did we tell the people we are going to change the constitution. Nowhere. We talked about the big four: manufacturing, housing, food security, universal health care for all. And that's why I was happy today to see the president doing what I think he should be doing.
Yeah.
This BBI thing, this handshake nonsense, was not part of our script.
But let me ask
let me tell you, Sophia, let me finish. It was not part of our script. And our people are having a very difficult time economically. And they think, in all their wisdom, that every shilling available should be put aside to help them to struggle through what they are going through. They feel that creating extra positions is not a priority for now. They don't think adding members of parliament up to 600, at a cost of almost 20 billion a year is a priority. And let me tell David Murathe, please, you guys listen to the people. Please don't just sit in hotels. Don't just sit in Nairobi and talk down to people.
So you've talked about...
and say that they must follow what the president is saying.
Yeah.
We shall listen to the president. Our people really respect authority.
And
by the way, they respect authority.
Yeah.
As long as the president is telling them the right thing, they'll respect him and they'll obey. But the minute he is out of touch with reality and talks about things they don't think is a priority, they'll say, no, that is the nature of our people. And I can tell you, Juja was a protest about government.
So it's a protest to the president.
Yes, it's
but perhaps when you've talked about it repeatedly, our people, and they don't like this and that, but could it also be your support for the Deputy President William Ruto, as you have political scientist Professor Murathe Gachagua talking about you can hire Kikuyu but you cannot own one, that you will flee when it comes down to it?
Well,
at some point,
no,
this support
Professor
will not
Murathe
hold.
Gachagua has become a sycophant.
And many others
No, he has become a sycophant.
But
I don't know
statement?
which Kikuyus he's talking about. I myself am a very principled man. I'm not on hire from anybody. I make very conscious decisions. Telling the Kikuyus people they are on hire is an insult to the community. People are independent to support whoever they want. And I don't think we are supporting the Deputy President William Ruto because he is hiring us or he is giving us anything. This guy was working with us, and nobody had a problem with him between 2013 and 2017. You can't just turn around and tell me to hate him without giving me a reason. Surely, Sophia, I'm over 18. I have a degree in political science. You can't just come and tell me this guy is bad and I just follow you blindly. Give me a break.
So you think this
you must give me a reason.
Okay.
And also, you must also tell me, and I would like David Murathe to tell me tonight.
All right.
Gachagua, abandon William Ruto. Whom do you want me to support? Who, my candidate of choice, is not a candidate in this election. You must tell me. You don't just tell me, don't support so-and-so. Tell me, stop supporting so-and-so, support Raila Odinga, support Moi San, support so-and-so. But people must also give us respect.
All right.
Sophia, you don't expect a member of parliament, a guy like me who is 55 years old, a man who has seen a lot of things, just to sit down and wait for the president to tell me where to go. I mean, it's an insult. You must allow